The majority wander through existence in a haze. They speak endlessly about ambition, yet squander precious hours drowning in digital feeds, hunting validation, and sedating themselves from reality's demands. They flee from challenge as if it were poison, when truthfully, it's the catalyst. They crave power but sidestep the crucible that forges it. They exchange mental clarity for chaos, self-mastery for instant gratification, then wonder why they exist as prisoners within their own existence. The unfiltered reality. Your ultimate self will never emerge from ease. It's constructed in quietness, in personal sacrifice, during those critical seconds when you act, not from convenience, but because tomorrow commands it. Ancient wisdom teaches us that barriers aren't meant for avoidance. They're designed for direct confrontation, met fully, completely, with absolute commitment. So if you've finished being controlled by fragility, and you're prepared to seize back control, remain engaged. And if this resonates with something profound within, think about subscribing for yourself, for that aspect of you that rejects a silent fade. The transformation begins now. Let's construct an existence that reverberates through time. Rule 1. Stop moving like hunted prey. The masses fail to recognize they're functioning as hunted creatures. It manifests in subtle behaviors, apologizing for having opinions, contracting in spaces demanding expansion, silencing perspectives to prevent friction. Prey navigates existence cautiously, perpetually calculating invisibility strategies, methods to avoid being perceived as dangerous, ways to occupy minimal space. Here's the brutal fact. The universe doesn't compensate invisibility, it consumes it. When you present yourself as merely attempting survival, others detect it instinctively. They interrupt more frequently, they challenge your worth, they probe your limits, not from malice, but because natural law recognizes uncertainty's scent. If you don't claim territory, another will. That's not cruelty, it's existence. You weren't designed to crawl hoping for anonymity. You're meant to operate with authority. Authority doesn't require volume or theatrics. It demands stillness, rootedness, complete presence. It means entering environments without desperate approval seeking. It means abandoning constant self-explanation because inner knowing already exists. True confidence operates silently. It's controlled strength, not showmanship. The philosopher once stated, "Existence's greatest privilege is becoming your authentic self, not society's expectations, not comfortable versions for others, but genuine identity." That authenticity doesn't emerge from pleasing, it springs from authority. Transformation doesn't require becoming someone different. Simply cease pretending inferiority to your actual nature. Stop performing modesty for comfort's sake. Stop treating weakness as spiritual currency. Begin moving like your existence matters because it does fundamentally. Your vocal tone matters. Physical language matters. How you carry identity matters. Upon entering spaces, you're communicating silently before words emerge. Does it convey strength or passivity? If the answer disappoints, rewrite it, not through increased talking, but through deliberate living. There's distinction between surviving and living. Prey survives following invisible regulations. Don't speak excessively. Don't desire excessively. Don't claim excessive space. But living, that's different. Living means advancing toward obstacles, not retreating. It means maintaining ground despite trembling voice. It means possessing preferences, perspectives, boundaries, refusing collapse whenever others react. It means declaring "this represents me" without seeking permission. That existence isn't reserved for the loudest or most magnetic, it's for the most anchored. Being anchored doesn't mean dominating others, it means no longer abandoning yourself. It means stopping the flight from discomfort, diluting messages, awaiting permission slips for wholeness. Prey awaits permission. You grant yourself authorization. Certainly, initial discomfort arrives. Stares, awkward silences, resistance from those preferring softer, compliant versions. But that discomfort, that's evolution. That's stepping from costume into authentic skin. The ancient teacher said, "We possess not short lives, but waste substantial portions." Existing in prey mentality represents ultimate waste. You're not here for tiptoeing, you're here for carving. Carving demands authority, steadiness, the decision to carry yourself as already deserving your position. Because the instant you do, others sense it. Even disliking it, they'll respect it. That's the objective. Respect over approval, integrity over likability, power over performance. The transformation starts when you cease moving like prey. So breathe deeply, elevate your head, sense your spine, speak purposefully, move like belonging exists, because truth is, it always has. Rule 2. Forge ice-cold concentration. People don't surrender lives in singular, dramatic moments. They lose them gradually, silently, within distraction gaps. 100 screen taps, dozens of meaningless exchanges, thousands of directionless thoughts. One instant you're documenting objectives. The next, you're submerged in comment wars with strangers. This occurs not from laziness, but because attention has been stolen. In a world engineering mental scatter, concentration ability has become rare power. Not merely attention-paying power, but energy protection power, declaring this matters, everything else doesn't. Ice-cold concentration isn't forced stillness. It's knowing your mission so clearly that nothing competes. It's selecting direction over stimulation. Crucially, it's becoming someone not requiring noise for feeling alive. That concentration doesn't emerge from scrolling. It emerges from silence, from discipline, from quiet spaces most avoid. Silence generates emptiness feelings, but emptiness births clarity. That's where concepts form, where genuine power manifests. Each silent selection over scrolling reclaims mental pieces. Each attention protection instance instead of distraction surrender makes you harder to manipulate. In a world profiting from your distraction, control resistance equals strength. Consider average days. How often genuine presence exists? How often intended actions occur? Versus attention-grabbing diversions. Truth is, most exist reactively, responding to notifications, not intentions. That reactive existence steals edges. You transform into someone completing starts, remembering what matters, following through when others quit. That's ice-cold concentration, not emotional, not hype-fueled, clarity-powered. Clarity springs from difficult questions. What am I genuinely constructing? Who am I becoming through daily actions? What would life resemble removing all noise? These questions aren't always comfortable, but necessary. Because each day avoiding answers allows the world to answer instead, with distractions, demands, endless noise feeling urgent but meaningless. Ice-cold concentration also involves environment building, supporting mind, not sabotaging it. You eliminate draining applications, distance course-pulling people, abandon habits rewarding short-term pleasure while destroying long-term peace. Concentration isn't just mission affirmation, it's everything weakening it rejection. Living like that, when daily choices match deeper values, internal conflict ceases. You stop waking exhausted mysteriously. You stop questioning why nothing changes. You begin moving like someone knowing destinations. You begin feeling proud of time investment. The philosopher stated, "External lookers dream, internal lookers awaken." That's ice-cold concentration's function. Awakening from distraction dreams. Returning to actual life awaiting construction. But reaching that version requires mental unity, not 10-direction hourly pulls. You reach it selecting one thing, giving everything. You reach it releasing non-growth elements. You reach it achieving sufficient stillness for clear vision. The emperor reminded himself. You control your mind, not external events. Realize this. Discover strength. That strength begins with concentration. Cold, clear, unapologetic concentration. Not perfection moment concentration, but hard moment appearance. Exhausted moments, world screaming for attention moments. You remain locked. You remain committed because stakes are understood. The more focus protection occurs, the more it protects you from regret, confusion, drifting life types occurring while busy with everything except what matters. So ask yourself presently, what if guarding mind like treasure occurred? What if making focus so cold, clear, untouchable that nothing could extract you from destined becoming? That's different movement. That's becoming unmovable. Rule 3. Master your emotional storms. Emotions carry power. They surface warning-free, sometimes like waves, other times like flames, demanding responses. You receive stinging messages, and before brain catches up, fingers type reactions. You feel rejection, so validation chasing occurs. You feel anxiety, so delays happen. In those rapid reactions, uncontrolled emotional impulses, power transfers. Each fleeting emotion driving behavior hands over control. Gradually, silently, life becomes reaction series rather than choice collection. But alternative existence exists. Mastering emotional storms doesn't mean suppression or existence denial. It means acknowledgement without ownership. It means experiencing space without hijacking. Because strength isn't pretending, it's choosing with clarity. Masses are taught immediate emotional action, defending, proving, chasing, escaping. But emotional strength operates oppositely. It's understanding not every feeling deserves responses. Some just require passage. Emotions resemble weather. Some days storm, others calm. But house rebuilding doesn't occur with every rain. You construct strong walls, solid roofs. That's inner discipline. Structure maintaining steadiness when emotions attempt course dragging. The philosopher once said, "Until making unconscious conscious, it directs life, and you call it fate." That's emotional mastery's gift. Awareness, recognizing patterns, stopping world blaming for unmastered reactions. Consider last regretted words or actions. Chances are logic didn't lack, emotion overtook. Maybe pride spoke, maybe fear, maybe shame. That moment, decisions came from wounds, not wisdom. But learning spot it, sit with it, let it pass without acting transforms movement. You begin responding intentionally instead of reacting painfully. You sense identical anger but observe instead of yelling. You feel identical fear but prepare instead of hiding. You feel identical sadness but listen to teachings instead of drowning. That doesn't mean coldness, it means clarity. You can care deeply, love fully, feel everything, but with control, presence, choice. Emotions become tools, not chains. They don't drive anymore, they ride backseat. You utilize them for building, understanding, connecting, but don't let them operate your life. This represents Stoicism's teaching. Emotions are life parts, but don't define character. The ancient taught, not events affecting you matter, but reactions to them. Those reactions house your power, not pain avoidance, but calm facing, not strength faking, but moment by moment choosing. The calmest room person isn't passive, he's powerful. Because maintaining stillness while others spiral, thinking clearly under pressure, feeling deeply but reasoning leading, you become others' anchor. Not from perfection, but from being anchored. That presence doesn't just protect, it elevates. In relationships, business, life, people begin trusting decisions. They notice steadiness. They respect silence more than others' noise. You don't need room domination with emotion. You fill rooms with authority. Authority builds in restraint moments. The teacher wrote, "Most powerful is self-power possessor." That's this. Not others' power, but your self-power, impulses power, fears power, previously sabotaging progress parts power. When ceasing giving every emotion your life keys, capability clarity emerges. That's shift starting points. You don't need argument strength. You don't need reaction alive feeling. You don't need defense scene feeling. You already know identity, and that knowing makes you unshakable. So when emotion surfaces, pause, breathe, listen, but don't obey. Use it. Don't let it use you. Let it inform choices, not control them. That's someone not just feeling everything, but leading through it. That's storm grounding maintenance. That's emotional mastery instead of emotional slavery. Rule 4. Wield discipline as your blade. Discipline isn't loud. It doesn't demand attention or stage performance. Discipline is quiet. It's built in darkness, in unseen small choices, in hook-release moments. But don't. Masses desire growth rewards without consistency weight. They want strength minus sacrifice. Truth is, everyone's motivated when easy, exciting, energy high, sun out. But what about cold times, tired times? Nothing pushing times except personal commitment? That's when average exceptional lines draw. Discipline is the you part, not caring about momentary feelings. It only cares about time becoming. Easy chasing inspiration, awaiting perfect motivation waves. But motivation resembles weather. Nice when present, useless when absent. If growth depends on motivation, stuckness persists, because most days aren't special. Most days feel ordinary, slow, inconvenient. Discipline means those day appearances too. It means treating goals like non-negotiables instead of options. That unwanted workout, that almost skipped early morning, that unread book, those are most counting days. Not from glamour, but from following through when hard shaping. That's real power origin, not hype, but habits. Ready waiting danger lets responsibility avoidance occur. You tell yourself, I'll start when life calms, when confidence increases, when things feel just right. But discipline doesn't ask for right moments. It creates them. It's sitting down, working despite mind pulling 100 directions. It's maintaining focus while world fills with excuses. Each discipline over comfort choice builds self-trust. You begin believing your words. You stop self-promise breaking. That self-trust becomes quiet confidence, not post-about type, but forward-carrying type when unwatched. The ancients stated, "No man is free who isn't self-master." Discipline is that mastery, life-steering ability instead of impulse tossing, laziness tossing, distraction tossing, promising relief but delivering regret. It's exhausted night teeth brushing. It's score untracked work appearance. It's walk choosing over additional scrolling hour. It's not one heroic act, it's 1,000 small invisible victories. Over time, those victories build strength, not number-measured type, but self-carrying showing type. Discipline committing also means discomfort committing, because growth lives there, in boring, in repetition, in who you are and who you're becoming space. You'll surrender things, time, comfort, validation. But return receiving is unshakable you version. Pressure unfolder version, bad day track on loser version. You cease being mood prisoner. You become someone counted on by others, but importantly, yourself. People will say, rest more, be easier on yourself. Slow down. Yes, rest is necessary, but don't confuse rest with retreat. Don't let comfort become your cage. Discipline means knowing when pushing, when pausing occurs. It means respecting energy but never worshiping excuses. It means standard setting, refusing drops every life-testing time. Because life will test. If motivation-built foundation exists, cracking occurs. But discipline building, again appearing despite hardness. Pressure survival doesn't occur. Pressure rising through occurs. The emperor wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what good man should be one." That's discipline essence. Not perfect getting, it's done getting. It's action over analysis, movement over theory. It's every strong, grounded person behind quiet engine you respect. Because deep down, talent or charm doesn't earn admiration, consistency does. Value living when inconvenient does. That's discipline choosing building, reliability, strength, freedom. So when waking hard occurs, when thing doing doesn't feel appealing, when mind whispers, just skip today, remember this: discipline is your blade. It cuts through noise, delay, doubt. It builds life saying, you want. Each choosing time, winning, occurs. Not loudly but profoundly, not instantly but eternally. Be follow-through person, especially when no clapping occurs, because real transformation begins there. That's unstoppable making. Rule 5. Release what steals your energy. Masses don't realize carrying weight until finally releasing. They walk around drained, bitter, exhausted for unclear reasons, blaming bad luck, stress, timing. But deep down, not doing too much exhaustion occurs. Holding on to no longer serving things, exhaustion occurs. People, habits, memories, beliefs, so many used to make sense, used to feel safe. But at some point, taking more than giving started. Yet we maintain them, convincing ourselves, staying loyal to just because familiar is normal, even when hurting. That's not strength, that's comfort disguised fear. It's why so many remain stuck. Release doesn't mean caring stops. It doesn't mean emotionless life walking. It means letting things own you stops. It means worth measuring by others' approval stops. It means someone else's chaos becoming daily atmosphere stops. Nothing noble exists in peace, constantly sacrificing just to prove loyalty. Loyalty should never cost sanity. Truth is, most draining you isn't mystery. You know exactly. But naming out loud makes real, and real things demand decisions. Release also involves within power taking back, because not just people or situations drain. Also own attachments to supposed being who. That perfection chasing, that never anyone down letting pressure, that choosing yourself fear if disappointing others. These aren't just thoughts, they're chains. The more feeding them, the more identity blurring. You start living someone else's script. You become character in never wanted life, eventually waking wondering how here getting. But good news, rope cutting always possible. The philosopher once said, most terrifying thing is complete self-acceptance. That includes accepting certain people outgrown, certain patterns outgrown, certain paths outgrown. Release isn't abandonment, it's clarity. It's recognizing no longer aligned with direction. It's refusing letting guilt keep you tied to light-dimming things. Sometimes leaving occurs not from cruelty, but from finally honesty about who you are, what you need, life kind you're building. Discomfort now exists for future peace protecting, because if keeping what breaks you, hands won't free for what can grow you. People might not understand distance, they might call it selfish, that's fine, because release isn't about them, it's about time reclaiming, energy reclaiming, focus reclaiming. When everything insecurity poking reacting stops, lighter becoming, sharper becoming, clearer becoming occurs. You stop 10 directions pulling, you start one moving your own. The teacher wrote, begin at once living, count each separate day as separate life. Release allows living again, past dragging into every present moment stopping. Future building based on who once hurt you, who once left you, or who still doesn't believe you stopping. You get fresh starting, not by forgetting, but by no longer letting define. Release is grace walking away freedom. No bitterness, no resentment, just resolve. Most others' admired strength doesn't come from holding on, it comes from walking away. The everyone but yourself appearing for version, the more than should tolerating, that version can't lead where wanting go. That version requires releasing, not judged, not hated, just released because learned what needed learning. Now peace choosing, clarity choosing, release choosing. not defense but declaration. Release as declaration, nothing owning me, not past, not pattern, not person. You're not here for anything owning. You're here for whole becoming. So whatever draining, question it. Whatever mind weighing, unpack it. Whatever future not aligning, let go. Because fighting for meant staying unnecessary, and carrying, trying, falling away unnecessary. You're not pain storage. You're not first-time value couldn't seeing people backup plan. You're not staying small meant for someone else comfortable keeping. Cut rope, choose freedom. Step forward, lighter, clearer, stronger than before. Rule 6. Patience is ruthless power. Patience has been long misunderstood. People hear word, picture someone sitting still, doing nothing, waiting for luck, showing. But real patience, transformation kind, is anything but passive. It's fierce, focused, pause decision when everything inside you wants rushing. It's ground holding while others lunge. Not from weakness, but from knowing. Your time approaches. Masses live rushed. They speak before thinking. They move before clear seeing. They jump into relationships, business deals, arguments, all because waiting fears. Afraid, if not acting now, shot missing. But that's blindside getting. That's power handing by too fast moving, too slow thinking. Truth is, everything powerful in nature takes time. Trees don't overnight grow. Storms don't second form. Most dangerous predators don't everything moving chase. They wait, watch, choose. When striking, it's precision. That's real patience essence. Not laziness, calculation, not knowing. Timing can be success, self-destruction difference. Too early moving shows hand. Too soon speaking gives position away. But waiting, truly waiting, gains edge most never understand. Because while they urgent waste energy, you important reserve energy. That difference compounds. Masses rush because silence fearing, not knowing fearing, still sitting with thoughts fearing. So they too much talk, too much share, too fast trust. But silence isn't enemy, it's advantage. The non-flinching when nothing happening person. Composed staying while others lose themselves person. That person always wins long game. When rushing, mistakes inviting. You red flags ignore, you own boundaries break. You too quickly agree, too slowly regret. But patience practicing, space creating, space for clear people seeing, truth surface letting, pressure observation without reacting. That space, wisdom grows, because patience perception sharpens. It reveals others try hiding. It makes you storm middle calm eye, and that stillness, that's attention-making people, not from loudness but from steadiness. When instant results demanding stops, actually lasting things building starts. This isn't settling or ambition lowering, it's standard raising. Anyone can rush, anyone can quick wins post, but not everyone can patient enough for noise outlasting. Still building person after hype fades, appearing's person when no watching, that's force becoming. Because while others moments chasing, you're momentum creating. That momentum carries you through storms that impatient version would have broken. Yes, patience requires restraint, but restraint gives actions meaning. You don't often speak, but when do, hits. You don't impulsively move, but when do, effective. You don't everything reveal, but when choosing, your terms. This is unforgettable making presence, not from flashiness, but from rarity. Masses are predictable, but waiting person, silent sitting person, perfect moment holding back person, that person becomes unstoppable. Because when acting, it's not reaction, it's decision, and it weight lands. The philosopher once said, "Patience is bitter, but fruit is sweet." Uncomfortable first feeling may occur. You may question, is anything happening? But trust this. If intention building, if deeper purpose actions aligning, results come. Maybe not when wanting, but exactly when ready. Patience isn't just waiting game, it's growth strategy. It character transforms, vision refines, everything and everyone that time weight can't stand filters out. So don't slow down fearing. Don't let world pace force you into not believing race. Move at own rhythm, build with depth. Write when stillness choose and when time comes, when door opens, when target clears, when path aligns. Move like entire life preparing for it. Because you've waited, watched, edge sharpened. Now when moving, nothing stops you. That's ruthless patience power. It doesn't permission ask. It waits, it strikes, it never misses. Rule 7. Deploy silence. As a weapon today, masses fear silence. They rush every quiet moment filling with words, noise, opinions. They need explaining themselves, everything commenting, constantly being heard. But world louder getting, silence becomes more valuable. It's rare now, exactly why powerful. When everyone over each other shouting to be seen, holding still person, not flinching person, only when necessary speaking person, that's standing out person. Not just from quietness, but from intention. Silence, when well used, isn't emptiness, it's weapon, tool that weight holds. Noise ever could, louder speaking communication form. Certain conversation pressure exists. Quickly respond, prove listening, gaps, fill in. But what if didn't? What if just paused, longer thought, less spoke? You'd notice something strange. People start leaning in. They wonder, thinking what? They harder try, reading you. That mystery creates gravity, and that gravity pulls attention. Not because demanded it, but because enough withheld to make notice. Difference exists between silent because unsure and silent because sure enough, not explaining self. Second one carries weight. It's someone's silence who knows, owing world reaction not. The philosopher once said, in listening silence, soul finds path in clearer light. That's silence giving, clarity, not just others how seeing, but yourself. How seeing. When air filling with noise stops, own thoughts hearing starts. Noticing things used missing starts. Picking up details, tone, tension, intention, only themselves showing when quiet enough catching them. In those observations, power gaining, because when room understanding better than everyone else in it, dominating unnecessary. You just wait, right moment, and when speaking, lands. Silence also protects you. It thinking time gives, breathing time, response choosing time instead of emotionally reacting. When someone's buttons trying pushing, exploding expected, that's trap. But when reaction wanted not giving, they control lose. Your silence becomes pressure. It uncomfortable makes them. It approach questioning makes them. That discomfort, that's advantage yours. You didn't fight. You didn't explain. You didn't center lose. You just stayed still. And in that stillness, in power stayed. The emperor wrote, best revenge is unlike him who injury performed being. That means not in-kind responding, not someone else's level lowering, not just because expecting you reacting. Silence is without word needing, above rising. It's weakness without peace choosing. It's others throwing dignity away, while intact keeping yours in scene scrambling. You also start noticing silence creates presence. When room walking, much not saying, people take note. They curious become. They thinking, wondering. They different something sensing. You don't have loudest being for respected being. Often it's least speaking one that most weight holds. Not from shyness, but from themselves trained. Unless purpose serves not speaking, that's unforgettable making them. Their silence isn't absence, it's reserve-held power. That doesn't mean never expressing self. It means when do matters. Your words more meaning carry because wasted not them. People closer listen because knowing, space filling, just not speaking. That's voice sharpness giving, edge, not volume but scarcity. Silence wisely used is precision. It's less saying by more saying. It's noise over depth choosing, and it's knowing. Real influence doesn't always announce itself. So next time over-explain urge feeling, stop. Next time someone argument baiting tries, pause. Next time accepted being just for sharing pressured feeling, pull back. Observe instead of react. Stillness over noise, choose. Let people wonder, reach, project. Because in that silence, in control remaining. In that control, most people never will something building. Without demand respect, without performance presence, without noise power. Rule 8, earn respect through presence, alone. Respect isn't asking for something. It's not words winning or charm winning something. It's moment by moment something building through move way, hold self way, when no watching respond way. People don't respect you because wanting them. They respect you when principles living, seeing and bending, refusing them for comfort or attention. That's core it. If respect chasing, very power creating it, handing over. Moment worth proving, trying, peace losing. But when solid standing in who are, when whole feeling, no longer needing to be liked, that's when people attention paying start. Real respect through action built, through consistency, through quiet strength. It's built when meaning saying and saying meaning, when words behavior matching, when certain ways spoken to not tolerating even if walking away meaning. It's built when calm staying, under pressure seeing people, when not exploding just because situation tense got. It's built when following through not just others' promises on, but self-making ones. Because self-treating how foundation is for others treating you how. If self-letting slide on own values, don't surprised when others too do. The philosopher once said, world will ask who are, and if not knowing, world will tell you. That's not owning space danger. If tone setting how wanting treated not, someone else will do it for you, and it won't always with respect. That's why leading with clarity, not respect demanding, but embodying it. You don't need yelling, you don't need flexing. You just need way moving that says, knowing who am and permission you're needing not to be it. People feel that. They adjust around that. But respect commanding also means consequences enforcing. That's where many people fall short. They boundaries set but don't follow through. They won't tolerate something say, but when happens, excuse it, justify it, stay silent. That gap between saying what and doing what, that's where respect disappears, because people don't listen to allowing what. They watch continuing allowing what. If they see boundaries more like suggestions, them that like treating start. It's not about harsh being, it's about firm being. You can calm and kind be and still about how expecting treated non-negotiable. Respect also comes from things others avoid doing, from hard when showing up, from excuses not making, from loud life gets staying grounded. When people see not easily moved, your attention not chasing or criticism under crumbling, they start differently seeing you. They realize worth you're not tied to external noise. World full of performance, that presence kind becomes rare, it becomes respected. You don't need anyone convincing. You just need someone being they can't overlook. Stop explaining who are and start showing it. Stop trying people winning over who don't value you and start way living that makes them reconsider. Goal isn't feared being, it's clarity respected for, strength your bending refusal for approval. People remember that. They respond to it. They start differently around showing up, not because demanded it, but because modeled it. So if respect wanting, stop chasing it. Stop begging for it in relationships, conversations, crowds. Build it from inside thee, then live it on outside thee. Speakless, line hold your, words stay true to your. Don't everything to react. Don't everything be trying to everyone. Just solid be. Be someone people knowing can't shake. Be someone carefully watch because knowing different you move. That's unforgettable becoming, not through noise but through silent strength. That's respect commanding without ever needing asking for it. Rule 9. Construct something beyond your lifetime. Masses are busy lifestyle chasing that surface looks good, but hollow feels when lights off go. They chase comfort, they chase attention, they chase temporary dressed highs up as goals. They live quick wins and shallow applause cycle, constantly something new needing just second feeling alive for. But that life kind fades fast. It doesn't mark leave. It doesn't echo. It vanishes noise moment that dies down. That's building danger for now instead of forever. Question isn't how good this does feel. It's what this will mean when no longer here to explain it. That's what legacy demands. It asks building not just for life, but for life that comes after you, for impact, that speaks in absence your. Building legacy doesn't mean fame chasing. It doesn't mean trying world remembered by. It means days making count. It means meaning stacking, not just money. It's something creating that beyond you holds weight. That could be way treating people, standards upholding, values refusing bend even when no watching. It's discipline keeping, battles choosing, quiet way standing tall when life tries making small. It's not flashy, it's not loud. It's consistent, intentional, daily. People often think legacy is about one grand moment, but it's not. It's about thousands small ones repeated with care, repeated with purpose. That's how going from noise to substance. The emperor once wrote, "What we do now echoes in eternity." That isn't metaphor, it's reminder. Every choice-making ripples forward. Every decision shapes story. Each right over easy choosing time, values carving into life structure. Masses chase weekend the vacation the next trend. But that's not path your. Path your is deeper, quieter. It doesn't always come with applause round, but it comes with self-respect. It comes with clarity. It comes with peace because not living for moment, living for what moment will mean 5 years from now. Building legacy means ownership taking, not world blaming, not waiting chosen being. You choose yourself. You lead yourself. You stop expecting someone else come save you and start being person who saves others through example, through action, through discipline. It's waking every day and asking, what am building today that will still matter tomorrow? Maybe business your, maybe health your, maybe children your, maybe way carrying self when no looking. Legacy doesn't have to huge be, it just has to real be. It has to stand for something. The philosopher once said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." That line carries weight because legacy never intention written in. It's behavior written in, action in, repetition in. It's not enough wanting greatness. You have built it brick by brick, day by day. Yes, hard it requires sacrifice. It asks walking away from easy pleasures, from comfort, from distractions. That time steal your, but give nothing back. You don't build legacy by living like everyone else. You build it by willing being do what most people won't. Legacy is also about truth, living way that aligns with who really are. Not who world told you be, not who past tried shaping you into, but who always meant become. That means habits, shedding old, people letting go who don't with you grow, saying no when need to, standing firm when easier fold would be. It means hard doing things even when no watching because you are watching, and future self your is depending on present self your to show up. The teacher once wrote, "While we wait for life, life passes." That's waiting danger to start. You think time have, but time isn't promised. What have you is now, and what do with it becomes story life your. So make it story worth reading. Story built on purpose, not performance. Story built on strength, not shortcuts. You don't have to perfect be, but you do have to intentional be. Every brick matters, every decision builds, even when doesn't seem like it. even when feels slow. So today, ask yourself, what am building that will still matter when gone? I'm not in dramatic way, in real way, in quiet way, in grounded way, in lasting way. Maybe mindset your, discipline your, way showing up for others, way showing up for yourself. Stack bricks stack them slowly, stack them when no sees, stack them when tired stack them when doubting because one day those bricks will become structure no one can ignore. Structure built not for comfort but for legacy. You weren't born to be flicker, you were born to be flame. So build like it, live like it, and leave something behind that speaks long after stopped talking you've. Rule 10. Eliminate your former self. Completely transformation doesn't start when something new adding. It starts when finally letting go of what no longer serves. That version you who always hesitated, who talked about change but never followed through, who hoped life would somehow shift without doing uncomfortable work. That version has go. Not gradually, not gently, ruthlessly, because truth is, you cannot carry both future want you and excuses holding back. One will always weigh other down. Most people stay stuck not because don't know what do, but because keep trying evolve without letting old identity die. There's voice inside whispers. Maybe later, maybe when more ready, maybe after things settle down. That voice isn't friend your. That voice is enemy oldest your dressed as logic. It's soft lie that keeps stuck, comfortable cage that feels like safety but actually is slow death. Version you that listens to that voice, one who scrolls instead of builds, who waits for motivation instead of mastering discipline, who overthinks and underacts. That version has be put to rest, because you can't rise while holding hands with part you that only knows how to crawl. Killing old you isn't about shame, it's about clarity. It's clear decision to stop negotiating with weakness, stop arguing for limitations stop dragging every mistake, delay, self-doubt into next chapter life It's not personal, it's necessary. The philosopher once said, in each us there is another whom we do not know. He speaks us in dreams and tells us how differently sees us from way we see ourselves. That version already inside you, focused one, bold one who doesn't flinch when life pushes, but he can't fully emerge until older, softer version is gone. Old you won't go quietly. It will fight for survival. It will use comfort against you. It will remind you of every failure. It will make you doubt momentum because that version knows one thing. It only exists when give in you. So moment decide you to stop giving in, stop retreating, stop being ruled by lowest habits. It starts, die. Slowly first then completely, but only if stay consistent only if stop turning around to check, if still there most people want transformation to feel good, but doesn't it? It feels like loss, like letting go friend A who always kept company. You in worst habits. Like numbers deleting, like routines changing, like saying no when easier would be to say yes and avoid judgment. But that discomfort is growth, it's tension, the between who were you and who becoming More lean into it more start recognizing signs you start catching old self before speaks it. You start making different choices without needing convince yourself You start becoming someone who doesn't tolerate own excuses there anymore. You don't need announced transformation you just need commit to it. Strongest version, you doesn't shout for attention. It moves differently. It works when others sleep. It speaks only when needed. It doesn't chase, it attracts. Only way to become that version is stop compromising with who only knew how to survive. You're not here to survive. You're here to lead, build, leave. Something behind that reflects who really were you. not just who conditioned were you to be. This shift is internal. No one can see first at, but feel it you. In thoughts you're, in posture you're, in way respond you to things that used trigger you. That's sign that old version is fading. When tries come back it and will it, you meet it with silence, with action, with standards that are too high for comfort That's how kill it you, not through drama, but through decisions, through boundaries, through quiet statement. I don't do that anymore. This is moment you're of separation. Moment look you at habits that drain you, mindsets that trap you, patterns that betray you and say, no more. Not with emotion, but with clarity. You've already outgrown that version. Now it's time, bury it, burn bridge the, cut rope the, lock door the, never open again it. Person becoming your deserves full access to energy your not shared custody with version that only ever slowed down you. So walk forward, clean, focused, unapologetic, because only way to rise is leave behind weight. The that never meant come with you was. Once do that you, nothing can stop you, because no longer divided you're aligned. That's where real transformation begins. Old you was just training ground. Now it's time become who always meant were you to be. Deliberate, disciplined, unstoppable. If this message spoke to you, there's another video waiting that will take you even deeper. Watch it next, and thank you for being part of Stoic Wisdom. Before we leave, if these ruthless rules sparked something inside, hit that like button for Stoic Wisdom and let us know which rule hit hardest. Your transformation matters. See you in the next one.